I would clean 500 ears, and I would clean 500 more, just to be the man who cleans 1,000 ears, so you can hear some more. Where's your earwax? Where's your earwax?
Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, and welcome. It's Nurse Richard, the Wax Wizard. 2 things that shouldn't be in an ear in this video. And if you've seen any of these videos before, you'll know exactly what the first one is. And it's pretty straightforward to remove. It's the dome off the end of a hearing aid. It's a clear one as well. I don't see many clear ones. They're usually darker in colour than that. Prefer it like that because you can see the edge of the ear canal through it. So that was handy. And now it has left a bit foggy at the moment here. It'll clear up in a second. There we go. Left a bit of a mark, bit of an abrasion on the top left of the canal there, and it wasn't particularly uncomfortable for her to have it removed. She said she felt it, but obviously it's pushed a load of this wax in a bit deeper as well. It started shaking about this because she started chatting. She really enjoyed watching this procedure, and I mean really enjoyed it. She was fascinated watching it on the screen. There's a few bits and bats here of not entertaining getting them. It's absolutely not worth it. Just told her to carry on oiling that for a bit, and that ear needs to recover instead of mauling about with it any further, just for just a few little insignificant bits. This I didn't think would actually make too much difference to her in her other ear. I was quite surprised how much difference it did make. As was she. She actually said that removing this made more difference than it did pulling the dome out of her other ear, which I was quite surprised at. No, it's very dry. It's just a bit of skin that's not quite migrating properly out the ear as it should do. So I think in a second I'm just going to get some oil out. The procedure after this as well, it's fascinating. One of the strangest ones I've done in regards to how such a tiny thing can make such a big difference for somebody. Something I've not come across before. And so, yeah, stay tuned for that. I think you're going to enjoy it. You're going to find it a bit, huh? You'll be like that. Huh? What? Anyway, throwing a lot of oil in here. As you can see, did make it a bit easier, but unfortunately what I've done there, obviously all the oil sinks to the bottom of the ear canal, and the suction tube, when you introduce it, it's got to go over the top of the endoscope. So when you put the endoscope, it's usually lower, but it should be anyway if you're doing it properly. The endoscope's lower than the suction tube, and because it's lower, it's often sitting inside that pool of oil. So you saw we got the old dream sequence in that one. But it does make a bit of a difference, but it was still a bit of a faff, this. And I thought it was going to be the lip that I've lifted up at the base of the ear canal that was going to do the job, but it couldn't actually lift it up with that. It was actually when I realised I needed to come at it from a different angle in a minute that it peeled away. So just on the right-hand side of there, I can see it lifting up. Always really difficult to do these, because it's so close to the ear canal, and as you'll know, that's a really delicate part of the ear canal, that. And so you've got to be extremely careful. And again, if you see it jiggling about a bit, especially as it's moving away, it's because the patient was having a good old chatter. She was mostly saying, "Oh my God, that's amazing." Do love the patient reactions. It's one of my favourite things. So you can see that now I've grabbed it from the right hand side, it peeled away, and thankfully it lifted it up from, I think it was inside the recess as well, and on the base of the ear canal. And it was when I took that one out that she said, "Wow, that's an amazing difference." And that's the beauty of doing things endoscopically. You'd look at that, and if you were doing it by another visualization method, you probably wouldn't bother, to be honest. You're like, well, I can see all your eardrum there, just a little bit around the edges. pop some oil in. Probably wouldn't have got rid of that. And it's just left us with this little shard of skin, which will get away, and a beautifully clear ear canal and a spotless eardrum. Now this one, can you see the little hair? It's a different patient, this. And they came to see me. I'm just asking them to do the Valsalva manoeuvre there. It's where you pinch your nose and blow, forces air up the eustachian tube and inflates the, puts air in the middle ear space. Just to check that there's nothing going on that shouldn't be. This patient came to me and they said they've just got a really weird sensation that something's wrong in their ear. Not necessarily hearing terribly, but there's something irritating, and she could sense that there was just something there that shouldn't be. And I took one look at it and I thought, well, it's just a little bit of dry, dead skin here around the outer edge. And yes, there is that hair there, but I can't see that hair making much difference at all. But my word, did it when we removed it, but it was a right faff to get out. It was really difficult. And there is a point where you'll see an arrow, not yet, but you'll see an arrow pointing towards the end of that hair, which is just sitting in the top portion of the eardrum, just above what you can see, just above the bone there that you can see. And now that's the soft part of the eardrum. And when I start peeling the skin away that's attached to that hair, you'll see the end of the hair. And I think that's actually the root of the hair. It's clearly loose hair that's fallen out. Whether it's hers, someone else's, a pet, I don't know. But you'll see that part of the eardrum slightly moving, and it was fascinating to watch. It really was. But I couldn't believe that something so small had made such a difference. Anyway, what else can I tell you? Because it's a bit of a faff at getting this out. So, anything interesting I can tell you? Not been up to much the last couple of days. I've done a gig with my dad's band, which was good. I had a bit of a late night, one too many beers, but that's another story. Feeling fine now. And I think I did half a day yesterday because I had a load of housework to do. In our house, sometimes it's just life gets in the way, doesn't it? Clearly chatting again there, the patient, and I found the oddest thing ever. I was speaking of odd things like this thing here. I was doing the laundry, and I was getting all the clothes out the dryer, and out the dryer everyone forgets to put stuff away. I found like some old coins, some money, a watch, a pair of glasses. But the oddest thing was I pulled a sock out, and inside this sock was a potato. And I'm like, why the hell is there a potato inside one of these socks in the laundry? Turns out it was my brother-in-law. He's staying with us at the moment. He's diabetic, and he bought some new boots, and he's paranoid about getting any ulcers on his feet in these new boots. They were slightly too small, so he put a potato in a sock and put that in his boot to try and stretch it out to make room for his feet. And I totally forgot about it. Put it in the wash, so I washed this sock and found a potato in it. I thought I was going mad. Anyway, have a real close look here at the end of that hair that's just sitting in that tiny little area there. And I do think I put an arrow in this when I was editing this procedure, just so you can point out that you can see it glistening. You'll see there's a little light reflex, a little flicker white, and you'll see it kind of flickering and moving up and down. And the patient could feel this. She did also say that it wasn't uncomfortable, but she said that she's always been really, really sensitive in her ears to anything, to any noise or sensation or temperature change, just really hypersensitive, which some people are. You can see that hair poking out now. Do you see it just coming through, not through, but over the top of the suction tube? But can you just see it there? You'll see it clearer in the next one. I think here's where I put the arrow to point to. Keep your eyes on the end of that hair. at the top of the eardrum. And when I grabbed the other portion of it there, did you see there? Just see it kind of, that light flashing on and off a little bit. And that'll be the reflection of the light on the endoscope as this thing is kind of moving up and down. And there it goes again. So clearly just having this little hair, and the roots of the hair will be obviously a bit thicker than the tip of it, and having that just sitting in and sitting on that bit of the eardrum has caused this lady so much bother. And I think she has seen other people about it and like, I can't see anything wrong here. So she was quite emotional actually when we got this out. She said, I can't believe that all that, just that tiny little thing has made all that difference to my life. You know, I didn't believe it at first. You know, I thought, is there a placebo effect here?
Yeah.
But then when I watched this video back, I saw it moving like you just did then. And I thought, well, maybe it did make a difference. But yeah, I was proper gobsmacked. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that, found it interesting. A couple of weird ones for you today. Please consider subscribing to the channel if you enjoy what we do. But for now, take care of yourself and I'll see you soon. Ta-da.